Metro Pacific Investments Corporation is a Philippine-based, publicly listed investment management and holding company registered with the Philippine Securities and Exchange Commission on March 20, 2006. Through acquisitions and strategic partnerships, the company seeks to create value by upgrading infrastructure, improving operational efficiency, increasing customer coverage, and working closely with regulators and other partners in government. The overarching objective of their investment and management strategy is to contribute to national progress and improve the lives of Filipinos while creating value for their stakeholders by achieving long-term economic success. Through their operating companies, the MPIC strives to deliver high-quality and affordable services for customers, provide safe workplaces and merit-based opportunities for employees, and generate reasonable returns for business partners and other stakeholders. Metro Pacific Investments Corporation makes a difference to the lives of millions of Filipinos, powering commerce and households, connecting people and places, delivering clean and affordable water, and making excellent healthcare available to all. The MPIC houses various companies under their wing, from electricity down to logistics. But we will only focus our discussion to 6 companies as presented in their 2020 annual report. Meralco. It is the Philippines' largest electric distribution utility servicing Bulacan, Cavite, Metro Manila, Rizal, and other cities and municipalities in Batangas, Laguna, Pampanga, and Quezon. It covers an area of around 9,685 square kilometers. Meralco serves a total of 7.1 million residential, commercial, and industrial customers. As the largest power distributor in the Philippines, Meralco contributes to nation building by supplying electric power to government agencies, central business districts, industrial parks, schools, and hospitals. Meralco collaborates with various partners to ensure safe, reliable, and quality delivery of service while compliant with the rates defined by the Energy Regulatory Commission. The company aims to provide accessible energy at a reasonable cost, especially to unserved and underserved communities. Meralco offers various products and services for its consumers. They are mainly categorized into services and solutions, business products, services and programs, and lastly, other products and services. Under the services and solutions, they have 5 different categories, namely Certified by Meralco, Bright Ideas, Prepaid Electricity Service, which they are very known for, Solar and Net Metering, and Orange Tag. Under Business Products, Services, and Programs, we have the Peak and Peak Off program, Net Metering, Power Consult, Power Profile, and various energy services. And lastly, under their products and services, they offer service enrollment for residential and businesses through their website and mobile application once a client has successfully registered and made an account. Global Business Power Corporation. It is a leading independent power producer in the Visayas with presence in Mindanao and Mindoro Islands. Having diversified power generation facilities that are capable of supplying base, intermediate, peak load, and ancillary support, GBP is one of the few to offer flexible energy solutions for varying power requirements. Committed to serve the nation with its power supply requirements, GBP has expanded outside the Visayas region to include foothold in the emerging Mindanao market through a 50% equity stake in Alson's Thermal Energy Corporation. The corporation owns Sarangani Energy Corporation and San Ramon Power Incorporated. GBP has 5 main services, which is their wholesale electricity sales, retail electricity sales, ancillary services, value-added services, and coal trading. Metro Pacific Tollways Corporation holds the concession rights to construct, operate, and maintain the North Luzon Expressway or NLEX, Subic-Clark-Tarlac Expressway or SCTEX, the Cavite Expressway or Cavitex, the Cavite-Laguna Expressway or CALAX, and the Cebu-Cordova Link Expressway or CCLEX. Considered as one of the largest toll road developers in the Philippines in terms of combined length of expressways, MPTC continues to develop the country's road infrastructure, significantly improving the safe and rapid movement of goods and services, and connecting and integrating even more people, value chains, and markets. Today, NLEX is the main artery connecting Metro Manila to North and Central Luzon, including 3 of the top economic zones in the region: the Subic Bay Freeport, the Clark Freeport Zone, and the Central Techno Park in Tarlac. Meanwhile, south of Metro Manila, Cavitex and the recently completed sections of Calax connect the national capital with the booming provinces of Cavite, Laguna, and Batangas. Lastly, CCLEX is set to be the new landmark in the country, as it will connect mainland Cebu from Cebu City to the municipality of Cordova in Mactan Island. Metro Pacific Tollways Corporation has 7 expressways in total, beginning with NLEX, which is a 97-kilometer expressway which runs from Balintawak, Quezon City to Santa Ines, Mabalacat City, Pampanga. It is also connecting Metro Manila to the northern provinces of Bulacan and Pampanga. Next up is SCTEX. It is a 94-kilometer expressway that traverses the provinces of Bataan, Pampanga, and Tarlac. The contract to manage, operate, and maintain the SCTEX was awarded to NLEX Corporation, which is formerly known as the Manila Tollways Corporation, by the Bases Conversion and Development Authority in October 2015. SCTEX is divided into 2 major segments, which is Subic-Clark and Clark-Tarlac. The NLEX connector is traversing mostly along the Philippine National Railways alignment. This 8-kilometer elevated road will pass through the 5th Avenue or C3 Road in Caloocan, Blumentritt, and España up to PUP Santa Mesa. The Cavitex is a 14-kilometer expressway along the coast of Bacoor Bay after south of Rojas Boulevard, which exits to Bacoor Bay and Kawit, Cavite. It is located 11 kilometers from Manila, the capital city of the Philippines, and 7 kilometers from the Ninoy Aquino International Airport or NAIA. This major road project was designed to further strengthen the commercial link between Metro Manila and the booming provinces of Cavite, Laguna, and Batangas. The Cavite-Laguna Expressway or CALAX is a 4-lane closed-system tolled expressway connecting Cavitex and the South Luzon Expressway or SLEX. CALAX will start from the Cavitex in Kawit, Cavite and end at the SLEX Mamplasan Interchange in Binyan, Laguna. It features state-of-the-art and environmentally friendly tollway facilities that not only aim to reduce travel time and traffic congestion, but also decrease carbon emissions. The CALAX will seamlessly connect several key towns and cities, accelerating the growth of business and tourism in the region through its 8 interchanges. And lastly, the Cebu-Cordova Link Expressway or CCLEX is an 8.5-kilometer toll bridge that will link mainland Cebu from Cebu City's South Road properties to Barangay Pilipog, Cordova Municipality in Mactan Island. It is bringing progress not only in the province of Cebu but the entire Visayas region. The CCLEX is scheduled for completion in 2021. Maynilad. It is the Philippines' largest private water concessionaire in terms of customer base, with the longest ISO-certified water distribution system. It consistently provides 9.8 million residents in 17 cities and municipalities with water that is clean, safe, and fully satisfies the national drinking water standards of the Department of Health. Since MPIC's entry in Maynilad in 2007, Maynilad has invested more than 130 billion pesos in rehabilitating the crumbling colonial water infrastructure of Metro Manila's West Zone, turning it into a modern and robust water and sanitation system serving millions of Filipinos, especially low-income communities who need these services the most. Maynilad has a total of 9 services, namely the Water Supply and Facilities Management, Non-Revenue Water Management, Geographic Information System Development, Wastewater Management, Estate Management, Utility Management Service, Feasibility Study, Project Management, and Pipe Laying. Light Rail Manila Corporation, who is in management of the Light Rail Transit Line 1, or most commonly known as LRT-1. It used to be hobbled by poorly maintained trains, long queues, and constant customer complaints. Through LRMC, MPIC took on the operations and maintenance of LRT-1 after winning the project as the lone bidder in 2015. The concession covered the original 18 passenger stations from Baclaran to Monumento, plus the North Line extension, which has passenger stations at Balintawak and Roosevelt. with track miles of 12.21 kilometers. Likewise, its LRT-1 Cavite extension achieved 50% progress as of December 1, 2020. LRMC modernized LRT-1 and introduced innovations that result in a marked increase in trains and trips, ridership, and customer satisfaction in less than 2 years. It reduced passenger waiting time, improved safety and cleanliness, extended operating hours, and garnered ISO certifications for quality and environment management. All these milestones are unprecedented in the 32-year history of Manila's oldest light rail system. MPIC is committed to promoting health and wellness for all Filipinos, regardless of income status or demographic profile. Metro Pacific Hospitals Holdings Incorporated is the largest private hospital operator in the Philippines with 18 hospitals across the country, serving an average of 2.8 million patients every year. It has consistently delivered outstanding healthcare services at affordable rates to every patient. These 18 hospitals are Makati Medical Center, Davao Doctors Hospital, Cardinal Santos Medical Center, Dr. Pablo Autorre Memorial Hospital, Our Lady of Lourdes Hospital, Asian Hospital and Medical Center, De Los Santos Medical Center, Central Luzon Doctors Hospital, West Metro Medical Center, Manila Doctors Hospital, Sacred Heart Hospital of Malolos Incorporated, Marikina Valley Medical Center, Dr. Jesus C. Delgado Memorial Hospital, St. Elizabeth Hospital Incorporated, Manuel J. Santos Hospital, Los Baños Doctors Hospital and Medical Center, Ramiro Community Hospital, and Calamba Medical Center. A hospital that can be found in our city is Davao Doctors Hospital and is a leading medical institution in Mindanao. Aside from that, one of their colleges, Davao Doctors College, is a tertiary institution of higher learning with a population of over 4,600 students, offering both academic and technical tracks of senior high school program, 13-degree college programs, and 2 graduate degree programs. The school's radiologic technology program is considered one of the top performing programs in the country by Professional Regulation Commission. Another one of their colleges is the Riverside College, located in Bacolod City. Metro Pacific Hospitals Holdings Incorporated also has other services, such as their cancer care centers, clinics, and central clinical laboratory. Under the cancer care centers is their Lipa Metrix Cancer Center, the Remedios P. Quirino Cancer Center, Riverside Bacolod Cancer Care Center, St. Elizabeth Cancer Care Center, the Calamba Cancer Center, and the West Metro Cancer Center. Under their clinics is the Una Consulta, which is Riverside's one-stop health shop in Bacolod City. And lastly, their Central Clinical Laboratory, which is the MediLinks Laboratory, which is a joint venture with the Japanese partners in LSI Medians, one of the largest laboratory operators in Japan.
The second requirement is to provide business risk interfaces and then describe an example of a control that could be used to reduce the business risk in each business unit. The first business unit is Meralco. The identified business risk is the ability to abuse its power and greed for profit. And in order to reduce the risk, the possible control that has been identified is to create an ampere tracking report. The second business unit is Global Business Power Corporation, or GBP. The identified business risk is extensive and complicated procedures for regulating project activities, and the possible control would be to continue expanding its operations by including in its portfolios renewable energy and to become a sustainable supplier of energy solutions to meet changing market trends and environmental factors. The third business unit is Manilad. The identified business risk is the sudden water interruptions due to lack of supply resulting to customers' complaint, and the possible control is the balancing of allocation to a huge demand based on the available supply. Also, the use of tankers to divert water to affected areas while digging for long-term solutions. The fourth business unit is Metro Pacific Tollways Corporation, or MPTC. The identified business risk is labor shortages. And the possible control is offering compensation and benefits and developing a strong corporate culture which values people and pays off hard work. The fifth business unit would be the Light Rail Manila Corporation. The identified business risk is routes and schedules cannot be adjusted, which leads to a few passengers than other transportation schemes. And the possible control would be to develop suitable plans in dealing with the availability of service to expand the business. The last business unit is the Metro Pacific Hospitals Holdings Incorporated. The identified business risk is the lack of transparency in assigning hospitals to patients. And the possible control to this risk is that the stakeholders who select hospitals to be listed under the health insurance plan should be permitted to include patients. This will consider the challenges of lack of transparency in assigning of hospitals.
Upon reading Metro Pacific Investments' financial statements and the annual reports per business units, here are the data we have gathered regarding their strategy in terms of customer intimacy, operational excellence, and product leadership. For Meralco, their customer intimacy strategies are: number 1, put in place a moratorium on service disconnections for unpaid bills. Number 2, provided installment plan payment options. And number 3, suspended the implementation of the Guaranteed Minimum Billing Demand or the GMBD. For the operational excellence strategies of Meralco, we have number 1, resource efficiency. Number 2, supply chain and materials management. And number 3, managing energy consumption. For Meralco's product leadership strategies, we have number 1, e-Sakay, and number 2, advanced distribution management system. For the next business unit, the Global Business Power, here are their operational excellence strategies. Number 1, resource efficiency. Number 2, supply chain and materials management. Number 3, managing water withdrawal. And number 4, managing energy consumption. The next business unit is Maynilad, and here is their operational excellence strategy. We have the resource efficiency, managing water withdrawal. For the next one, we have the Metro Pacific Tollways, and here is their customer intimacy strategy, the radio frequency identification. Next is the operational excellence strategy of the Metro Pacific Tollways. We have the managing energy consumption. And then we have the product leadership strategy of the Metro Pacific Tollways. We have the radio frequency identification. The next business unit would be the Light Rail Manila Corporation. And here are their customer intimacy strategies. Number 1, we have the automated train operations management system. And number 2, the ECOT MNL app. For their product leadership, we also have the ECOT MNL application. And for the last business unit, we have the Metro Pacific Hospitals, and their customer intimacy strategy is the telemedicine.
We can further justify the identified strategy in each of the business units by evaluating the individual annual reports. Firstly, customer intimacy. It is your connection and awareness of your customers' needs and values. Metro Pacific Investments ensures that, aside from providing good products, their customers are enjoying quality services. MPIC responds to the changing situations of its consumers. Meralco, for example, responded to their customers' needs when the pandemic started by providing leniency to the payment collection by implementing programs such as installment plan and a moratorium for service disconnection on unpaid bills. Metro Pacific Tollways and Light Rail Manila Corporation also develop technologies in order to serve their customers better by ensuring that relevant and timely information is available to avoid queuing and help commuters and motorists travel with ease. They are continuously customizing products and services to meet their customers' needs. Another strategy is the operational excellence of an organization. It is the execution of its operations in an excellent way. MPIC implemented different strategies in order to give consumers quality products and services at the lowest possible cost. Global Power Corporation, for example, follows the resource efficiency and supply chain in materials management. The corporation upholds high standards in its supply chain by conducting annual assessments of its suppliers. They also ensure that suppliers comply with environmental standards and regulations. Operational efficiency is constantly reviewed in order to achieve significant cost savings. Lastly is the product leadership. It is the time spent on deciding which products to build to add value to customers. MPIC continuously innovates in order to serve customers better. Meralco, for example, has its subsidiary, Isakai. Isakai provides electric jeepneys as an alternative form of commute for those going between Makati and Mandaluyong. These e-jeepneys are utilizing technologies and are more convenient than traditional jeepneys. Isakai serves up to 40 passengers per trip, uses an automated fare collection system, GPS tracking, provides free Wi-Fi and charging ports for convenience. This Isakai is proof that MPIC continuously develops new and better products through differentiation and innovation.
The Short Up program is one of MPI Corporation's CSR activities according to their website. Aside from it is good because it will highlight our country's potential for lessening the pollution and making its ecotourism better, our company believes that this is a beneficial initiative since it not only aids but also preserves our coastal environment, ensuring that once the coastal areas have been aided and restored, they will not revert to their prior status. We recommend that they keep this program going and gradually expand its scope to clean up and restore other coastal areas. This is because we trust, as a group, that this program is long-term sustainable and that its long-term sustainability and wider reach will benefit not just people but also the environment. Overall, our group praises the program's long-term viability and we recommend that they concentrate on protecting the restored coastal areas.
For the last number, it seeks to answer the question, after going over the annual report of Metro Pacific Investments, is the document purely a financial accounting document or not? Why or why not? So the annual report of Metro Pacific Investments Corporation or MPIC does not consist of merely financial accounting documents. It is because, as shown in its uploaded document, it also consists of the corporation and its group of companies' operations for the previous year. Furthermore, the MPI's annual report also includes narratives, photos, graphs, which represent and summarize the activities, state, and operations of the corporation. In fact, each company that is part of the MPI's group of companies also presented its own report through graphs and narratives, showing the company's performance and its results. Additionally, 2020 was the year where every company has gone through difficulties because of the pandemic. With that, MPI also presented in its annual report how the entire group responded to that challenge by utilizing its available resources and focusing on its priorities. Basically, the annual report of Metro Pacific Investments Corporation or MPIC does not only contain financial accounting documents, but also information that is important to its shareholders in making decisions. And part of that essential information is the financial accounting documents which can be found at the latter part of the MPIC's annual report.